What up, y'all? So, you want to know when you are finished with the narcissist? When you've broken all ties with the narcissist? When your energy connection has been dismantled from the narcissist? When you're done with the narcissist is when you absolutely don't care what the narcissist is doing at all. And that's how you know your energetic fields are not connected to the narcissist anymore. Usually it will, I'm just going to give you my opinion. My opinion is from dealing with it firsthand on several, in and out of, at least 3, major relationships that I can remember. The first thing, you will first feel really thirsty for them, you know, right? Because that's kind of part of the seduction that they leave with you. That's with all the dread that you dealt with and all of the dysfunction and all of the push and the pull and you know, the serotonin and the dopamine and the cortisol and all of that going back and forth, it tends to, you know, this hot and cold that they put on you, this trauma bond, right? This love bomb, this devalue, this discard, this, you know, and before that, the future faking, the walking on eggshells, the rule making, the coercive control, and the blame shift, and all of the projecting that they do, right? And all of the data mining, and they get you real high, put you on a high mountain, and then throw you down to the lowest valley, right? Death Valley. And then they leave you. And they leave you and they wipe their hands of you. They wipe their hands of you, they shake off the dust, and they're on to somebody else, man, that same day. And they just don't even give a shit about you. They either, they just ghost you. You might text them, no response, a long, late response, days later sometimes, just to make you feel like a piece of shit, you know? And literally, when you met this individual, it wasn't even like you was going for them, going at them, just like everybody says, right? You weren't really scoping them out, man, as much as they found you on their pathway, or you found them, and then they target you shortly thereafter. And they like that. All or nothing. That's what my ex used to tell me. I'm all or nothing. I don't cheat. I don't lie. And they do all of that. Okay? And then, you know, you're wore out. You've been devalued down to the mud. And you're weak. You don't want to stand up. You don't want to smile, you're anxious, you're shaking. Like a wet dog out in the cold, man. Just shaking, man. I got rigors, you know. And then, you know, you go back and forth with them, you know, on several occasions if you can't hold yourself together, you know, doing these, cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle, you know, whatever. They're a shell of a person and on the inside, and they have to fake it on the outside. So then what they do is they make you look like a shell of a man or a woman on your inside and your outside. You know, you're a representation. You know, it's kind of interesting because in the word it would say that you're a mirror image of the people you hang around. I don't know the scripture offhand. You're a mirror image of the people, the company you keep, kind of is what it was saying. And your greatest, the closest company to you is your partner, your love partner. And so with that being said, let's apply that scripture to who you are in the function of this relationship. You are a mirror image of the narcissist, right? That's what you become, because if they're your love partner, and they are the company that you're keeping most tightly knit with, right, at that period of time, because the love partner is the one that you're going to be closest to. Well, you look like them. You look like them. That's what you turn into. You turn into, you don't turn into a narcissist, but when you are enabling a narcissist for a long period of time, because I've watched this, I've had to deal with that when I was married to one for, almost 10 years. And I also watched other people that were close to me. I don't want to talk about other people, but people that I grew up that were in and around, or in the family or whatever. And you watch people, even, year after year after year, they just become more and more disheveled and more hopeless, more and more irritable and miserable. Okay, and that's just more and more of the conditioning of what happens to an individual in humanity that has life, that is with somebody who has no life. And so it makes me also think of, they do this in science. They would talk about how, you can put, say, whatever, rock music or something, or, really, say evil music, so to speak, or, around plants and stuff, right? So and they wouldn't thrive. They would dwindle. They would die. You can do anything to them and they're gonna die. But if you put stuff like if you played let's say Amazing Grace next to a plant over and over, it would blossom, and it would grow better than ever. And the same thing with just like the plants. The company they're keeping, I mean, unbeknownst to them, or it's out of their control, right? We have the opportunity to have some sort of, more thoughts and options about what we can do versus a plant. But the plant can't move if it wanted to. It can't pick up its legs and move, right? But so but just the company that it's around, right? So you got evil music next to a plant, it kills it, man, because that's the company that it's around. And I know this sounds stupid, but that's the whole point is when you put life with evil and disaster and destruction, and no life or death, it will kill anything. Life and death cannot be together. And that's why, again, light and darkness cannot be together. They cannot be in the same place. They will always irritate, and they will always repel each other. And that's why heaven is so far away from hell. Of course, it's all part of God's creation, but God, also put it in the science of things that they have to be so far apart because they so much repel each other. It's like a magnet, right? And the same thing with water crystals. They used to talk about, you could play like evil music and the water crystals would look like, all chaotic under a microscope, and, the snowflakes, but the water crystal snowflakes would look just amazing and most beautiful under, like, say, playing music, that was wholesome and good for you and wasn't toxic, right? toxic individuals, they will affect every organ system, just like alcohol. When it gets toxic, it's a toxin, right? That it will affect every organ system. You won't be able to walk if you drink too much. You won't be able to see right. You won't be able to, your kidneys will feel it. Your liver, your pancreas, your heart, your blood will be tainted. Your skin, hair, and nails won't look right. And so it's just, it works in all areas of your life, but when you put a narcissist in your life, a big part of it is you come into covenant with them. It's not like you have to work around these individuals. It's one thing when you have to. God will pour out his grace upon you when sometimes you have to do things, because he might be using you to shine your light into that individual. Maybe it will never change that individual, but it will be there as proof. And also he gives us options, and that's the thing that the enemy will do too. He will give you options. The enemy will not make you sin. That's the thing. A lot of times the enemy doesn't make you sin. He just gives you a ton of options. And sometimes options are no good. Sometimes I'd rather just have, 2 or 3 options instead of, 20, But maybe I'm just rambling here. But I just wanted to say that because you become a reflection of what you're hanging around. And you really will see this when you are with a narcissist, and especially for a long period of time. And a lot of times when they're doing all this, blame shifting and projection and stuff onto you, they're really trying to, they don't have a way to regulate emotionally. And, they're they are emotionally, impotent or emotionally deadened. But so everything comes from the outside, which tells you that there is nothing in there, that there's no way for them to process anything. And whatever is processed is what they have stolen through lies and manipulation from you. And I think what ultimately happens is you for you to level them off, you have to pull them up with all you got to get them to a level of where you are. And to do that, and it essentially will pull you down. So if the narcissist was at, say, in a building, if they were on the first floor and you were on the 9th floor, right, in energy elevation and stuff, and your mindset, for you to, pull them up to you have to go to, say, the 4th floor. You can only, for you to pull them up, it's going to bring you down to the 4th floor. It may bring them up to the 4th floor, but that's what happens. So you're going to go down to the first floor in an elevator, and pick them up, and then the furthest you're going to get after all their blame shift, manipulation, breadcrumbing, and they're going to suck enough energy to where you'll never get to past the 5th floor again. In fact, they'll get you to the fourth floor, and you were at the 9th before you met them. They'll get you to the 4th floor again, and then you guys will be maybe even, because you fed them. You fed them up, man. You gave them a couple of hot plates of your energy. Okay, and then the next thing happens is they're gonna now it's time to crush you. So now they're gonna stay on the 4th floor. Okay, but now they're gonna push you down to 3, to 2, to 1, and and that's kind of how it works. And then they'll keep you down on floor number 1 while they're on as high as they can get. They don't give a damn about you. That's all it is right there. They just want to stay above you. and then they want to move on to the next thing that's better. And that's why you never get dedication, you never get unconditional love. But that's what they always preach they want you to have to them. And a lot of times their fear is what led to all of this. And that's why in the Bible it says, fear not, for I am with you. And the rod and thy staff, they'll comfort you. And that will prepare it. They will prepare like a feast in the presence of all your enemies, man, and you will not be touched, man. And and that's why you have to have faith, and faith is probably for me one of the hardest things, man. To dwell on faith and to live by faith and not by the bread alone, right? So just something for you. I know this is 16 minutes, I'm sorry guys, but they will do this to you. But when you break all energetic ties with them, is when you don't, first of all, you're not going to be thirsty for them. Then the rumination comes on, and then you quit ruminating, and that could take, man, I'll tell you, depending on how charged the narcissist is, it could take a long time, man. I was with one, it took about 1.5 years to get that ruminating off. And I think for most of mine it was somewhere, but I didn't cut them off in the exact 6 months like you're supposed to, as much as you can, because we're all human, so we're going to fail and we're going to fall, but you got to get back up and you got to press on and press forward, man. It's one of them things, and it sucks, but you're always going to have a time of falling short, but then the rumination will stop. You can stop it all in 6 months if you're strong enough to get through 6 full months without talking with them, without responding to them, and without hearing from them, because you've done such an awesome block of no contact. But then you'd still have to get them out of your head, man, so you can break. It's the 6 months of no contact is the best way to break all of those the wickedness that they have placed on you. A lot of that stuff will shed, and a lot of that, they stole traits from you, and stuff like that, and so those things will fall off of them and come back to you. In my opinion, I might seem a little weird, but they do steal parts of your essence for a short time. That's my opinion. It's not proven, but and those things come back to you, and that's where I think that you have to get over them. And then what happens then is you don't feel like you have anything to prove to them, because a lot of times they leave you with at the end this some sort of like such a codependent feeling, a neediness that you may have never had before in your life, but now all of a sudden when they leave you, you feel like you have this issue where you feel like you need to prove to them that you're the better than they ever thought, that you're the best thing that they could have ever imagined, or I'm going to work hard at becoming the best, maybe even the best version of myself, so I could show you or be back with you. And that's the kind of stuff you need to let go of. You have nothing, when you feel like you have nothing to prove to the narcissist, and you literally just do not care what the narcissist is thinking, doing, or who they're with, or who they're sleeping with, or who they're gonna whatever, marry, divorce, live with, have babies with. You don't really care if at the end of the day, if they're even living in the same state as you anymore, because you have your back to your own agenda, and your own agenda allows other people access, but it will never allow the narcissist access again. So give me a like, a thumbs up, and a subscription. I love y'all. Heading into work on this cold Friday. So peace out. I love y'all. Stand tall, soldier up. Peace out. Peace.